The Dancing with Depression podcast is brought to you by Kaz CM, where CM stands for Content Matters, because content brings people together. Welcome back to another episode of Dancing with Depression. Today's conversation is one that's deeply personal, raw, and leaves me a little vulnerable. We're diving into the effects of medication, what it's like when I'm taking them, and what happened when I decided on my own to stop completely. Before we begin, I want to make something very clear. These are my personal experiences. If you or someone you know is struggling with mental health, please seek professional help. You can call 1-800-950-NAMI. That's 1-800-950-6264. Or text NAMI 62640. You're not alone, and there are people who care and want to help. There's a saying that I think is the perfect framework for this episode. The saying is, don't judge someone until you've walked in their shoes. So today, I invite you to walk in mine. A few months ago, I made a decision, not recommended by a professional, not really thought out, and definitely not the smartest one in my 49 years on this earth. That decision was to stop all of my medication. Yep, cold turkey. And when I say all, I mean all. My anxiety and depression medication, my diabetes medication, and my cholesterol medication. I'm going to go ahead and pause and give you a second to ask the question that everybody's been asking me. Why? What were you thinking? And my honest answer is, I don't know. I just knew I was tired of feeling like a numb little bug, of going through life like a robot. Sure, medication was working. It was helping my anxiety and depression. But I didn't feel like myself. I couldn't do simple tasks like folding laundry. Wasn't showering regularly. Wasn't picking up the phone to call people that I love. I wanted to do these things. I had internal conversations about doing these things. I even said how beneficial they would be. But no action followed. Even joy started feeling muted. The first sign something was really wrong, I realized I was keeping myself awake until I couldn't keep my eyes open any longer. I've always been a night owl. This was different. I'd be up until 2, 3, sometimes 4 in the morning. Not because I was energized, but because I was trying to keep my brain busy until it just gave out. I didn't want to be alone with my thoughts. Here's where I need to be a little careful, because the thoughts I was having were about death, not suicide. I was struggling with the concept of life and death, grappling with existence itself. It's hard to explain, and I'll try in another episode once I can wrap my brain around it a little better. But it was scary, heavy, and all-consuming. I'd like to add that this moment was part of my crash. And if I had chosen not to share it, only a select few would have known. But not everyone has that luxury. Society today is quick to pull out a phone and record a developing situation, hoping it goes viral. Maybe this name rings a bell, maybe it doesn't, but the name is Delonte West. For those that don't know, Delonte West was a professional basketball player in the NBA. He played for the Dallas Mavericks, my Boston Celtics, and Cleveland Cavaliers, earning just over $16 million in 8 seasons. His story perfectly reflects the saying, don't judge someone until you've walked in their shoes. In 2022, a video of Delonte West went viral, showing the former NBA player panhandling in a gas station parking lot. The overwhelming majority of the comments focused on how much money he had made during his career, as if being an NBA player somehow protected him from being human. People judged him without knowing he was battling addiction and had been diagnosed with bipolar disorder. We have access to an endless amount of information, yet we still haven't mastered the ability to understand what is happening in someone's life, much less why it's happening. We have to do better. I encourage you to do better. Now, I won't say there weren't any positives to stopping the medication. And the biggest one, I was reintroduced to my emotions. I actually was able to cry when watching the video of a soldier coming home and surprising his family. You know the ones I'm talking about. I ugly cried watching the Disney Pixar movie Inside Out, which I hadn't done in over 10 years. That emotion had been missing for years. Oftentimes I questioned if it would ever reappear. It did, and I'm glad. And for the record, I'm back on my diabetes and cholesterol meds. What I didn't realize at the time was how much this decision impacted not just me, but everyone around me. For instance, work. In sales, hitting my quota isn't just about a personal pride thing. It directly affects my manager's income. And when I stopped taking my meds, my performance dropped. I started to have anxiety attacks, and the depression was in full force. I ended up missing my quota for months. Many managers would have written me off. He's just burnt out, or he's looking for a new job. My manager, he just noticed something was off. He didn't pry. He just said, I'm here if you need anything. And when I finally told him what I was going through, he didn't judge me. He listened. That didn't change the company's expectation, of course. I still had to hit quota, but it made me feel seen. And that made a huge difference. I'll be the first to tell you that that's not a normal circumstance. This particular manager was just special. It also affected my family. I recall I was driving home from North Carolina back to Connecticut, which is a 14-hour drive, and decided to reach out to my brother. We were on the call for 2 hours, of which my brother probably got to speak for 5 minutes, which clearly earned him the greatest listener badge. But in those 5 minutes, he dropped something that hit me hard. My mom had been wondering why I only called on the way to dinner or doing errands. Calls that always ended abruptly when I reached the destination. I hadn't realized how that made her feel. It was like I was squeezing her into a schedule, not prioritizing my time to talk to my mom. That moment humbled me. This journey isn't just affecting me, it's affecting the people who love me. And that's something I have to own. The hardest part is how it's affecting Bobby. Bobby has loved me through everything. And I'll be honest, I don't always understand how she does it. She sends me motivational videos, encourages me to walk, stay active, shares wellness tips, and somehow still believes in me when I can't believe in myself. She reminds me daily that there's hope. She educates me on ways to get through and reduce my anxiety and depression. Things like food is the most abused anxiety drug. Sunlight is medicine. 7 minutes of laughter can change your entire mood. 8 hours of sleep isn't optional. Movement matters. And that I can still live, not just try to survive. And she challenges me lovingly to put in the work, to show up for myself, because she knows I can do it, even when I don't. So the goal is to get better every day. I'm not fixed. This isn't the end of the movie where everything gets tied up in a neat little bow. But I'm better than I was 4 weeks ago. And I'm continuing to build on that. My goal now is balance, not perfection. Incorporating a better diet, exercise, therapy, medication, and living life. If you've made it this far, thank you. Thank you for listening, for walking in my shoes for a little while. If there's one thing I want you to take away from this episode, it's this. Don't judge someone's behavior until you understand their journey. Sometimes the worst decisions come from the deepest pain. We're all figuring this out day by day, moment by moment. And if you're struggling, please know you're not alone and there is help. Until next time, take care of yourself and remember, when it comes to depression, take the lead. Thank you for joining us on another episode of Dancing with Depression. There's a saying that hindsight is 20/20, which is often used to describe the phenomenon of being able to see things more clearly after they've happened. With that in mind, I encourage you to reflect back on past experiences in an effort to better understand your now. Also, I invite you to share with me your comments, thoughts, or personal exposure to depression. You can email me at dancingwithdepression@yahoo.com. Until next time, keep moving forward. And when it comes to depression, remember to take the lead.